so I've already primed my skin and I use my usual Nivea Men Post Shave Balm. And I also used today something a little different. I used my Smashbox Photo Finish Color Correcting Adjust. This is in the green tone. I have a giant red pimple in between my eyebrows right now. I didn't want that distracting away from our foundation review today, or first impression. So yes, that is already concealed. Brows are on. I did an eyeshadow look on my Snapchat today, so be sure to follow me on my Snapchat if you're not already watching. I'm trying to do makeup looks on there, but God, it's so hard. So let's get into the foundation. So this is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Foundation. I have the shade 202 Creamy Natural. I didn't really get to swatch this in store. They didn't have one that was already opened, and I wasn't going to be that girl. But it was the second to the lightest shade, so I was hoping that this would work for me. It says up to 24-hour foundation. Please don't wear your makeup for that long, but it is nice to know that it could last that long in case you needed it. It has an SPF of 15, and it says it has a radiant finish, normal to dry skin, hydrating. So I used to have really dry skin, but right now I'm on more of the normal side. So I think this foundation might be great for me. I don't use a lot of drugstore foundations because a lot of them do tend to break me out. So we'll continue to use this and keep you guys updated, but for now I'm going to show you my first impression. It does say, pro tip, shake well, dot onto skin in rolling motion for flawless coverage. I'm assuming they mean using a beauty sponge. That's what I do on all my foundations anyways. It just gives the best finish for me. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure this is shooken up, and if you can hear it, it's quite liquidy, which is it's odd. If you've ever tried the Pro Matte foundation, it's a lot more thick. I do like it, but it's a little bit more on the drier side for me. So this is a lot different. So I'm going to put this in the back of my hand. It does have a more kind of runny texture. You can see it running down. I can't tell if it's a good color or not for me, but we'll find out in a second, huh? Go ahead and dot this. Not sure if this is a great color for me or not, but I'll make it work. It's a little on like the ashy side, which is kind of odd because I'm not really yellow undertone. It's just not, it's not pinky at all. Blending the foundation in, it does seem to match my skin tone. It's just not as tan, I guess, as the foundations I have been using. I might have to warm it up with bronzer a little bit. I don't feel like I used that much, and it is covering quite nicely, and it looks really pretty actually. So I'm taking a little bit more. I'm just going to run this down my neck. I just seen something really weird on the back of my hand. Let me try this again. I swear I just seen like white beads on my hand. Where did it go? Maybe the illuminizer and the foundation hadn't mixed all the way. But make sure you shake it really well. So I really didn't use a lot of foundation, but I really like the coverage. I like the finish, so I'm not going to add any more. So I'm going to go ahead and just speed through me finishing the rest of my makeup. And I'm setting this foundation because now that I've started setting my foundation with powder, I cannot stop. I just feel like none of my like bronzer and blush and highlight just go on the same. And I'm obviously using my Jaclyn Hill Becca Champagne Collection palette. I have another one of these which I'm actually giving away on my channel, so make sure you check in the description if you'd like to win this beautiful creation. I'm going to set my face with the MAC Fix Plus spray. It does add a tiny bit of dewiness. However, I have only been able to set my face with powders since using this product. Powders in my face just really dries out my skin. Baking and all that stuff, I have to set my face. So I don't know what lashes I want to wear, so I'm going to rummage through my beauty room, find a pair of lashes. I'm going to go ahead and put those on, finish up the eyeshadow on my lower lash line, and I will be right back. Okay, so I'm finished with all my makeup. I left the lower lash line kind of bare just because I just wanted to be a little plain Jane today, you know? So this is a foundation. It looks very pretty. I am seeing some pores in this area. Let me see if I can get you close enough. I am seeing some pores here in this area, which I'm not exactly happy about. Besides the pores showing right here, I do like the foundation so far, but I will do another check-in and let you know how it kind of wore throughout the day. So right now it is 4:10 p.m. I will check in with you guys later and we'll see how the foundation is looking. Okay guys, so I'm here for my check-in. It is 8:36 p.m. so it's been about 4 hours, which is a decent amount of time to have the foundation on my face, but it's not obviously a full day's worth. But what I can tell by looking at the foundation at this time, it looks really pretty and glowy from a distance, so I do have that kind of fresh, healthy look, which is great, but I can tell that it has accentuated all the pores that I have in this area, and also on my forehead, which typically isn't a place where I see a bunch of pores, because obviously it's not like a super pore ridden place, or at least it isn't on me. I would have to assume it's the foundation, but this is just my first impression. Different days call for different makeup tragedies, so it could be something else. So it's hard to say up front. I do see pores. I do see that it's settling into my forehead wrinkles from making expressions. If you've been watching my channel, you know I typically get really close in all of my tutorials and videos. I get really close to the camera so that you can kind of see what my makeup is actually looking like and what my skin's looking like. So if you can see, I feel like you can't usually see these pores this much, especially right in here. I really want to wash my face. I don't know what it is. I'm used to wearing lots of makeup. I just added one layer, but I do feel it on my skin. I can tell I'm wearing makeup, and I've thought several times about, you know, throwing on my comfy pants and just washing my face. So basically at this second, the foundation is all in one piece. It looks good, you know, from right here. I will check back in later just to see if the foundation is breaking up or anything like that, but since it's a long wear foundation, I assume that it will probably look the same as it does right now, but we will see. Okay, so I'm back for another check-in, and it is 11:14 p.m. for about 7 hours, so that's a pretty typical day wear. Again, I wasn't doing anything too strenuous. I was just kind of laying on the couch and cuddling up with my dog, so I had to like brush away the dog hairs on my face. As I guessed, the foundation pretty much looks the same as it did before. I do notice the glow that they're talking about on the skin. Like I can look on my forehead and see a glow in places where I didn't actually highlight my face. Really hard for me to get past the creases in the makeup, like again in my forehead lines and here in between my brows and like my expression lines. Again, our pores are not looking attractive. We've got a line here by the mouth. We have some lines here by the eyebrows. So there are definitely some pros and some cons to this foundation. I feel like this is one of those foundations where I'm going to have to try different combinations of primers and things like that to see how it actually performs on my skin. Everybody's different. So the things that I loved about this foundation was it does give a nice glow to the face, so that's a plus. I'm all about that glow life. The price point of it being a drugstore foundation is obviously a pro as well. I did find this one at Walmart. I haven't found it anywhere else yet, but I did find it at Walmart and it's around $11. Some of the drugstore foundations are getting to be like 20 bucks now. I'm like, come on now. Another great thing, like I said, is that it didn't oxidize, so it didn't get darker or anything like that. It stayed pretty true to color all day long, which is great. It did last a long time. It hasn't worn off or anything like that. I'm not going the full 24 hours. I don't have what it takes for that kind of video right now. The cons were that it accentuated my pores, my lines, like when I make expressions and things like that. It's not feeling quite comfortable on my skin. My skin just feels like I have a lot of makeup on, and I don't. Like this is kind of light makeup for me if you've watched any of my videos. Another con is I don't love the packaging. I just prefer a pump, but this isn't the worst. The squeezy tubes, at least you can get every bit of product out of here. I'll be really curious to see how my skin reacts to this for the next few days, because sometimes if I use a foundation that doesn't agree with me, I will know immediately. Sometimes I'll wash my face and I'll just have kind of bumps. I'll wake up the next day with like texture on my skin. I do have kind of sensitive, kind of prone skin, so if anything kind of crazy like that happens, I will definitely leave the information in the description box. But that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I always appreciate it. Be sure to thumbs up the video so I know that you like this type of video. The comments can definitely be educational, so if you've tried this foundation, let me know what kind of skin type you have and how it reacted with your skin, and if you like the foundation. That way, if people watching this video don't have the same skin type as me, they can definitely look in the comments and kind of find somebody who has similar skin as them. Yeah, I look like poop. I'm gonna go to sleep, so I will see you guys later. Bye. So I used to have really dry skin, but right now I'm on corner. So I used to have really dry skin, but no. I'm just gonna leave that empty. I don't know what I'm saying. So I have foundation under my foundation, and in my foundation, that foundation has, how many times can we say foundation? The foundation. So it's been on completely for about, so the price is, okay, alrighty. I've been angry all day long, so excuse my effed eyeshadow.